So I'm back and I'm working on my Citroën Saxo again. So I repaired all this section here, re-sanded it all back down and rust treated it and primer, but we've still got quite a bit more rust to sort out. So just under the arch, I've still got this hole and quite a bit of patching up to do in here. So less of that, let's get on with it. The first section I want to sort out is this little plate which has a stud going through it that bolts the carpet down in the car. But first I want to make sure it's all clean around the area so I get better penetration in the welds. Backing it in place but not just welding it up in one go, because putting too much heat in one area can cause distortion in the metal, and that's definitely something we don't want. And just like that, the plate's welded in. Just grinding back the welds with a grinder and belt sander, that works really well with cleaning it all up. And don't worry, I haven't forgot about the stud that needs welding on. I'll do that a bit later. Let's move on, we've still got lots more to do. We've got to make quite a few replacement panels and a lot more welding. Some of you may not know what plug welding is. It's normally used when you are overlapping two pieces of metal where the top piece has a hole drilled out and the one you want to weld to doesn't, which is what you can see in this image. Doing this can help you with getting better penetration, which turned out to be a really good way of welding this panel I made on. I think using this technique will definitely come in handy with some of the other panels I'll need to make. Now let's sand down them plug welds, making it look like it hasn't even been welded there. Welding up this section, normally this bit's overlapped and spot welded, but I wanted to change that by making it one piece. I made a small plate for the top section and welding that all in, doing exactly the same as what I did on the other section. Plug welding, tacking it as I'm going round, trying my best not to distort the metal. I probably could have made this as one piece, but I think it's a lot easier doing it this way because I don't think I would have been able to do the curves and dimples this section had as one panel. And again, sand it all flat. This bit doesn't look bad and would probably clean up okay, but I thought of doing it just to be on the safe side. And I'm happy I did. You never really know how much rust gathers underneath these panels, and this is a good example. Thankfully it's cleaned up pretty well, but if I left it, I know I would have had to redo it again. These little bits ended up being a lot harder than I thought and really struggled to get it right. I did the same by spacing out the welds and letting it cool down, but I kept getting little pinholes. The only thing I could think of is that the metal on these cars are so thin, but I managed to get it in the end. I'm starting to think it looks pretty good now. Just for this final piece to go in, and the driver's side wheel arch is rust free. So that is the driver's side wheel arch now all cleaned back up, but there's one thing that I think I should change also on the driver's side. I might have to do it on the passenger side as well, but I'll have a look at the driver's side first and see what condition I think it is in, or if I need to replace it. And that's this bracket which holds the front bumper to the car, and I also think it holds the wings as well. But it's got a small hole here and it's quite pitted around the edges, so I'm thinking I should replace it instead of just leaving it on. What I'm thinking is actually to mock it up with a piece of card or paper and then cutting it out, transferring it onto another piece of metal and then replacing that section there. The top bit I don't think is going to be too bad, so I think mock it up and then cut a new piece out. Out comes a wire wheel again. I think I'll need a lot more of these for this car. Mocking up with some paper and with some dirty fingers. I want to keep the factory holes here, and it makes it a lot easier to line out the holes so I can copy that on the new piece. I can now get my template lined up exactly where I want it and mark out where it needs to be cut. It could then be cut out and a new piece can be welded in. With the piece I made, I didn't do the crease off the car and I thought it would be easier to do it when it's tacked on. So putting the Sharpie line where it folds over and gently bending it around with some grips, I managed to keep the factory look I am after. Just need to do a couple more tacks and bending just on this corner, and then I can go ahead and weld this whole piece back in, and then we can get it sanded. I'm just now drilling out some of the holes on a bracket and then going back into them with a step drill, so then I can use some carbide burrs which will shave some of the metal off so I can start shaping them. Right, that took me quite a while just to do the driver's side. All the welding is now done, completed on that side. So that means now I need to do the exact same on the passenger side. So let's get this wheel off, get the suspension out and actually check and see how bad the rust is on this side. Let's get this pinch ball out, which keeps the lower arm and the suspension all together. Then undoing the 3 13mm nuts at the top, and out she comes, with a bit of persuasion with a hammer. Let's get a closer look at what we're dealing with on this side. Considering this is a side that's seen all the ditches, all the road grime and everything, I don't think it's actually too bad. Don't get me wrong, it does look pretty bad. Like down here, that will need addressing like it did on the other side. I think I might be alright with the bolts going through for the carpet. Obviously, as soon as I start wire wheeling this all off, I can actually see a lot better if it's actually bad underneath or not. I mean, I'm going to be flattening that straight back and then welding it along there like I did on the driver's side. So I don't actually think it's too bad, really. I suppose all I need to do now is get the wire wheel out, try and get all this under seal off, and try and get to as cleanest metal as I can. Here I am wire wheeling off all the underseal, getting rid of all the surface rust. Just by using the wire wheel, it stripped off quite a good amount and it's looking much better already. And here it all starts again. The rust is literally in the exact same places as it was on the driver's side. But one thing I've noticed is that the rust is mainly in areas where the metal overlaps each other, so over time, driving in rainy conditions and over winter times, the grit will make its way in between the two pieces of metal and eventually start to corrode it. I'm finding pretty much every time I'm taking a piece out, underneath is actually quite rusty, and I'm wondering why that is. If it could be that the seam sealer might be gathering up the water, that the seam sealer from factory might not even be waterproof, or they don't actually prime the panel underneath when they weld it. Maybe that could be the problem, I don't actually know, but I'm sure from factory that they do actually coat them in a certain type of coating. At least this bottom piece is a thicker metal, so I can actually sand it back quite flat and it'll come up clean. But yeah, I wonder if actually seam sealer is waterproof or not. But hey, let's get on with some cleaning this up. Before I go ahead and replace the panels I've cut out, I noticed a little section that needs replacing, which I definitely need to sort this out because there's no way I'd be able to cut that out if I weld a new panel in. I just wouldn't be able to get to it. After doing the driver's side, I have a better idea of what I'm doing. Doing the driver's side was a bit of guesswork, and with making panels and being unsure if I'd even can do what I'm doing. But I know doing all of this myself, I'm going to be saving so much money. I mean, I wouldn't want to know how much it would cost me to have this welding all done. Not only is it saving me money, but it's also giving me a new skill to learn. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't go to plan first time, you can always redo it. What I can say is I'm more than happy with how I'm getting on. Right, let's plough on and get all this welding done. I've gone and got myself another replacement panel. This is just like the same as what was on the driver's side, which I've got one now for the passenger side. But I've tried welding this one up because there was a few holes. I've tried to tack them in, but I just keep popping holes through them. So I thought the best thing was to do is to go and buy another one. I'll need to try and get this one into here. There's a couple of spot welds down this side here that I need to grind off, and then cut a nice slit down there, and I can prep this one ready to go in. Just like that. Yeah, here we go. Got it out. Fair, if I did not have this finger sander, there's no way that I would be able to get in here to clean up. I mean, look how much rust is here now. Obviously it's surface rust, but if I didn't have that at all, there's no way I could clean that back up. Especially with the wire wheel, it would get a bit off, but not as much as what I want to get it back to the bare metal. So I need to clean all this back up with that finger sander, and I can then put in the new panel. Where is it? And then that can go in there somehow. I'll have to cut this down as well. Might have to trace, or probably just cut a little bit at a time, work my way up until I can get it in there properly, because this bit obviously sits underneath there, which I don't need to cut all that out because it's still quite solid, there's no holes. So if I try and cut a piece off there, I can then try and wiggle it in. But first, I need to sand all that back, get that nice and clean and primed. So yeah, we are.
Like I said, it's just surface rust, so it does clean up really good. Then a bit of rust primer to stop it coming back. One thing I did notice with the replacement panel, that it doesn't have the crease that's here. So I'm thinking the best way to get that flatter is getting 2 hammers and giving it a couple of taps, and I can get that nice and flat.
If I'm completely honest with you, I am not looking forward to doing this side at all. I just don't think it's going to go well, but we've got to give it a go. That is what it's looking like so far with me cutting this bottom piece out. It's fitting in okay, just I know I'm going to need to sand away a little bit here. Just file that down nice and slowly. The bottom as well, because that is overhanging by probably about that much. So if I just go slowly and just take little bits away at a time, I'm hoping that that will eventually go nicely. Obviously I've got to drill these holes out here to do the plug welds. We can go ahead and get it all welded in. This is now how it's sitting. It's sitting pretty well, just where the actual, what do you call them, like ribs or something like that, that's what I'll call them, ribs. Just there, it seems to be offline just by a little bit. At the top, it's actually quite flush. It's pretty much dead on in line with that, going straight across. So I'm not sure if that just could be an error maybe when it's been made. Because if you actually move it down a little bit, yes, you're in line here, but at the top, you're out by probably about that much. I'm gonna have to try and sort something out there. Possibly when I'm welded in, I can like tap it and maybe make a better shape on it. That's where we are at. But all in all, it looks pretty good in there. Now the big test is to see how it welds against this piece here. The other side wasn't too bad, just a bit worried about this because it's a lot longer piece compared to what I did on the driver's side, because that piece I only cut it up to about there. But let's give it a go. I found myself a battered old socket extension here where it's actually the same shape, like roundness here, as the dimples that go along here, which goes there. So I thought of an idea of trying to replicate that one onto this piece, only by a little bit, probably by that much, and popping it there and actually tapping it, because I've welded all along both sides and I've left that section there, so when I can tap it down it should go into place. That's what I'm hoping anyway. So let's give it a go at trying to tap this wedge. Okay, so I reckon we should check out the passenger side bumper bracket, because the driver side one was pretty bad, and I reckon it'll be the same on this side. Yeah, and I was right. So look at that. I mean, it's pretty rusty there. It's got some holes here. It looks a lot worse than the driver side one, actually. I suppose because the passenger side one, it's nearer to the roadside, so it's gonna get a lot of the road grime on the ditches and stuff, which I reckon I'll be able to sort it without getting a brand new one. But just look there. Oh, I don't know. I'm hoping I'll be able to sort that out. Hopefully I can just cut it probably the same as I did on the other side, but it might have to be a little bit higher. I suppose I'm just going to have to give it a go, because I don't think they do replacement ones of these anymore. I suppose it'll just be trying to redo this one, I suppose. Sand, it's actually come up pretty well. It's pretty much just pitted a bit of surface for us, to be honest, and I could actually just cut it literally just the same as I did on the driver's side, so I should be in with a winner, and it shouldn't be too bad as what I actually thought. But yeah, just the holes here really, that's the only major one. But yeah, cleaning up there, it's actually pretty good. Even on the top here is solid, so I shouldn't have to worry about that, and I reckon it would, you know, I could reuse this, put a bit more metal on the side and replace that, and it should be all good to go. It should be fine, because it's still pretty strong. This top section is definitely strong, so as soon as I cut that bottom piece out and put a new one in there, it'll be just like the driver's side one. So I didn't actually have to worry at all. To sand up this edges now, and then I can make a template for this. But I'm sure I'll be able to get this good as I did on the driver's side, so wish me luck. And here it is. I've bent it all around the edges properly here, because last time when I did it on the driver's side, I had it all straight and then just bent it into place like that, which I wanted to try and test my skills, see if I could actually do it, and actually fits pretty well. So it goes on now, just like that. I've left a little bit extra onto the overhang just so I can sand that down, so I know it's actually going to be perfect in line. I think I've done pretty well with that, so let's get it welded in. We've had a parts delivery for the Saxo, and inside this box is a Satchel engineering strengthening kit for the engine bay. So here we've got a strut brace to go across the top. What else have we got? We have two top mounts. That's that one. And it also comes with like two sort of gussets, which I'll show you in a sec, which go down the bottom. One, and there's two for the other side. These, I'm sure, are the two bars then which will go from the bottom of the mounts here. Well, that's what I think anyway. Here are the two bars now, also that go on like that. So that's a whole strengthening kit for the Satchel engineering engine bay.
let's have a look and see how it fits on the car. So these will go on top of the strut tops, that's what I think anyway, because they've got all the lines cut out ready for the existing ones already there. So I'll show you, because I've actually cut a section out here, because Saxo engineering say that you should cut this top piece out if you're running throttle bodies, and you might need to do a little bit of work to the bonnet to actually get it to sit properly when the strut top goes across the top. So when you put it in, you actually have to cut a little slot out, because I don't really want to get rid of this bit. I want to try and keep that if I can. But see, they actually line up properly with the holes already existing. To actually keep that there, I might have to put the struts back in, tighten them up, so then that's actually solid, and then I can weld it fully across. So that will be the same on that side. I'll have to muck it up to do another hole there. I have 2 slots already cut out here, which is for 2 little slots cut out on the top mount. These should, if I'm right, one should go somewhat like that on the top, and then it'll go down to the bottom bit there, like that. We then have the gusset. The gusset should sit somewhat like that, if I'm right. And then we have the final piece, the strut top, to go bolt through there, straight across to the other side, where they say you might actually have to cut this out because it sits a lot higher. Especially if you run throttle bodies, it might, but work my way around that if I can. Let's try and get this all fitted into the car. Let's go. Can we do it then?
Reinstalling the strut allowed me to properly secure and align the upper strengthening plate. Now that everything is bolted in place, I can begin welding. So I'm welding all around the edge, filling any gaps as I go. I've removed the strut again, and I can fully weld around the centre section of the strut top. I'm also welding in the cut out section, and I've sanded part of the area back to give me better access so I can weld it along the rear edge. Got the entire rear section fully welded up now. Everything's nice and solid, so I'm just going over it with the grinder to smooth the welds out and tidy it all up before the next stage.
Next up is the bar to go from the top of the mount down to the bottom. I did have to make minor adjustments to the bar so it actually fits in. It now fits in there perfect at the top and slots on perfect at the bottom. Now we can try and weld that into place there now.
Right, let's get this bar lined up and slotted into position properly. Making sure it's sitting exactly where we want it. We'll weld the top to secure it in place, then finish by welding the bottom so everything is solid and properly supported.
Next up is now for the gusset to go in. I've done a little bit of research just to make sure this is the exact place where it's supposed to go, and I was correct that it does go there. Like I probably said before, you do have to cut a little slit out of there just to make sure it goes around the engine bracket. That fits in pretty nicely there. I'm now starting to finally see the light at the end of the tunnel with this car, especially getting this engine bay done.
It's the last bit to weld in on the driver's side. I was only going to tack it in but ended up fully welding it, and that should be a lot stronger now.
You're probably thinking, but Harvey, why are you putting a strengthening kit in a 1.1 Saxo? Well, my plan for this car is to turn it into a fast road track car, and having a strengthening kit will A, help with the engine that's going in, and B, also helps with structural rigidity at the front end, which improves the handling, and that's something you need when you're going on the track there. Before I do make a start on doing the passenger side top mount, I thought it'd be best to try and fit the strut brace on first before I weld it all in.
And that's what I ended up doing. I probably didn't really need to, but it made more sense to fit it. This way we know the mounts are correct and everything lines up as it should. It's better to take a little extra time and risk issues later. And we start doing it all again. Seeing how I started, I feel like my welding has progressed massively. It's not amazing, but I feel like it has improved. Okay, so let's weld all along the outside, inside, the strengthening bar and the gusset, sanding the back so it matches the driver's side. And there's one last thing to do. And that's fitting the strut brace. It's a really straightforward install, and the kit comes with all the required hardware, which makes the job even easier. Everything's lined up nicely and went on without any hassle. With that all buttoned up, we're finally finished. We finally finished the engine bay, so let's do a little full recap of what we've already done. Under the arch is all being welded up, primered. We've repaired the bumper brackets, they're done, and on the other side that one's done. All cleaned under the arches on that side. We've put brand new plates on both sides, this side and the passenger side. Plates going in here, blanking plates, so I run the wiring loom, I can make it a little bit more tidier. And the final piece that we put in is the strengthening kit. This full strengthening kit with strut brace to go across. I think it's looking pretty good now. I hope you all liked this video. If you did, don't forget to go hit that like and subscribe, and we'll catch you all on the next one.